So Michael, the Coller Barometer survey paints a positive picture from investors for private equity, but also as usual we asked about risks to private equity returns. And some of those are as you may expect, with a majority of investors highlighting high asset prices, economic and currency volatility, but there was also some perhaps less expected risks coming through.
Yeah, and one thing that is really newer on the agenda is protectionism,
Right.
which really sort of popped up a year and a bit ago. And what is particularly interesting is that some of the countries that you wouldn't have associated with protectionism are now on the agenda, like the United States, or maybe even Great Britain with Brexit.
So investors perhaps perceiving the changing political landscape being less favourable for growing private companies. But of course, yet to be seen how that all plays out.
Yeah, that's very much right.
Yeah. And a theme I thought was very interesting coming through was cybersecurity.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those big themes that's talked about a lot. I mean, interesting enough, only 1 in 20 people that we asked had actually experienced a cyber attack. But I mean, everyone thought that this is going to be a threat of much more significance going forward. So really something that's on people's minds.
So investors are taking it seriously. What are they actually doing about it?
I mean, very much so. It's part of their due diligence processes when they basically assess the fund managers that they want to invest in. And that's obviously something that we've experienced as when due diligence was done on us. It is a growing theme though. I'd say like 1 in 5 probably are doing this at this moment in time, but more and more of the investors want actually to focus on that area because they see it obviously as a real threat.
And I would imagine that in terms of fund managers doing that, it's time and effort and resource from those managers, which may have implications for the industry in terms of who can actually give the investors comfort that they're able to address those threats.
Yeah, and as private equity is maturing and the firms operating in private equity are becoming more mature and industrialized, it's obviously easier for the larger players to provide that security and more difficult for new firms, the new lifeblood of the industry, to dedicate the resource and money to it, which could have real, I guess, impact on the ecosystem of private equity.